Rochelle and I am the host of the MI Project, aka Multiple Intelligences. And I am giving you a wake-up call. I am asking you to join me every Friday on the Wake-Up Call broadcast, network, and social media, where we will ask the question, how are you smart? And soon you're going to be able to provide an answer. See you on Friday. Welcome to the MI Project. I'm your host, Rochelle B. Gray. This is the show that asks the question, what's your genius? We all know multiple intelligences. There are 9. We have all 9. For those of you that didn't know, now you know. And what I like to do is have my guests take their tests. And I am so happy to have Miss Myra Foster with me this evening. Major networker of the African American Black community and new author. And this is why we're here tonight. So I want to say good evening.
Thank you. Good evening to you too.
I'm so happy that you're going to be in the show. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to let you know she took the test. And we're going to come back and talk to her and see what she has to say about that.
Okay.
All right. So first, I want to do a recap of last week. We dealt with our interpersonal, and here we go again. I tell you, I'm finding some. I wonder why I'm finding all these interpersonal people, because I'm trying to bust that myth. That's right. It balances me too. So those are the people that have a profound sense of self. Sometimes people call them shy, but they're not. Detail oriented. They make it happen. For all of us that got the big visions and stuff, and we don't know what to do with it, they come in. All right, and you know what? They don't have a lot of problems with people or having to backtrack because sometimes they allow the wrong person to get into their space. Yeah. They're too reflective for that. Mm-hmm. So shout out to the interpersonal person. All right. So I gotta give my shout outs tonight. You know, I gotta give my shout outs. I love people in my community that are doing things, my youth, especially for which this show is for. So my first shout out is actually to my pastor, Michael Rory of Providence Covenant Church. Amazing man. Just is all about you being spiritually whole and then whole so I can launch you into the community and back you up financially while you're doing it. Wow. I love him. I absolutely love him. He has been to him and his wife, everything I've ever had, because he wants to know what we're doing. So he knows, you know, whether to correct us or prioritize us, or because he always knows me. I have like 4 or 5 balls jiggling at one time. And he's like, it's my priority, but he's been to every single thing. And one awesome thing he did for back to school, he says, you know, we give a lot to kids, but there was myself and another young lady at our church. She's a teacher assistant. He gave us $165 to spend for our kids for back to school, and I was really impressed by that. It really was, and so unexpected, so unexpected. So shout out Pastor Michael Rory.
Shout out Pastor Rory.
See, I got a shout out. My next shout out to Coach Lynette Bennett. She is one of my bowling coaches. Mm-hmm. I tell you, if anybody eats, sleeps, and powder you bowling, it is her. She called me today. She was like, candy was on sale, 69 cents. At Rite Aid, I'm buying candy, because she's going to sell candy, and then she's going to give the proceeds to bowling. And I just love that. Anybody that is with you like that just loves youth as much as you do, shout out Coach Lynette Bennett. I'm so happy you're with us. I really am. And my last shout out is to my friend Erica Shepard, who's another person that's like that, real, and has really been a person that's had some adversity in her life, but has never let it stop her, and she was really concerned about going back to school, and did amazing on the course that she didn't think she was going to do amazing now. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it just takes perseverance and belief and faith in yourself, and things will happen. So shout out Erica. I knew you was going to do it anyway, although you was talking all that stuff. I knew you was going to do it. Just don't give up.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't give up.
I appreciate everything you just said.
You know what they
I'm thinking about all the people, Pastor. I like what Pastor did, and you know, even with Empower the Youth Bowling, because my son's bowling.
I know.
So that helps me as well.
That's exactly right.
Amen. And then even with Erica, that's inspiring because she's going to school.
It really is, and that's right. She's in her 40s, so shout out. Yeah. Well, let's see. So, what I began to tell people who might have been with us for the first time what the Multiple Intelligence Project is all about, and the fact that a gentleman, a Harvard professor, Howard Gardner, he is a cognitive psychologist out of Harvard University. He's one of the directors of the university, and he says that we learn more than one way. We have more than one intelligence, not just math and linguistic. And what about the kid that's not logical, mathematical, or linguistic, or who is, because we have all 9, but they just haven't met that teacher that could pull it out, or found out what their gift is. In other words, it might be manipulative, like you said. It might be the young lady that goes to the board, whereas my daughter was not visual spatial. So you sending her to the door, you should just frustrate her. But let her hear as a rehearsal, let her put it in the ears, let her do it to music. She's got it. She's got it. So he has really hit something, and his theory came out in 1983. And I laugh because some people say, "Oh, it's a theory." I'm like, so it's a theory of relativity, but try to jump off a building, you're gonna fall. Okay, it's a theory, but it works. So with that being said, I just enjoy giving my youth the MI test. I ask them the question every year: who here thinks they're smart? Who here is smart? And out of 20 people, you might see 3 hands go up because they're not sure. And it's not frightening that they're not sure. And I go, you know what? It's not whether you're smart, it's how you're smart, because you are. So let me show you how you're smart. And when I see the artists and the musicians, the sad part, know who might have never gotten a music class at school, or who got thrown in an art class and then they frustrate the teacher, and so they get suspended and written up because they don't want to be there. Because it's frustration when you really cannot operate in your purpose and your gift. It really is. So it's a movement to me. It really is. And I'm like telling everybody, and I'm doing a wake-up call. I'm calling out all my churches. Get your youth to our site, or at least in the wake-up call. They have the right to know their genius and to be able to walk in it. God gave us all these things from the beginning. And it's too sad that as adults, because no one said, you're a visual spatial. You really could be an architect.
Yeah.
You really could be a photographer. You really could be in advertising, making things move. Because again, how many people out there know more than 250 careers and can count them in 10? No, you don't. Most of us don't. But there are 50,000. So what are we missing? So where's my astronaut? Where's my Batman? Who knows that he's an inventor? Where are my inventors? All these things. Where's my networker? All the things you see. So one of the things I do, Myra, is when I first begin to teach this to adults, I tell them to close their eyes and imagine they're in the playground.
You want me to close my eyes?
Yeah, do that. Imagine you're on the playground. So what do you see the kids doing on the playground?
Well, I'm on the merry-go-round.
See? Okay, body kinesthetic. She's moving. What else do you see? What else kids doing?
So are we talking about the children or me?
Yeah, other
I'm
children.
On the merry-go-round.
Yeah, see, that might be you.
I'm moving. I'm on the monkey bars doing the gymnastics.
So what do you see other kids doing while you're there?
Running around.
Okay, what else they doing? Are they all running around?
They all, well, I see one person who's playing with me.
See, that's the Karen, that's the interpersonal person. Do you see anybody singing on the playground?
No, I see somebody slide on the sliding board.
Okay, body kinesthetic. You see anybody in the corner talking to people?
Yeah,
in
I
the group.
I see him talking in a group.
Linguistic. That's that kid that you're a really good student, Myra, but you talk too much. that student. And parent just called me today. No, they're linguistic. You need to teach to them. What else you see? You see anybody caring for anybody on the playground?
No, I don't see nobody caring for nobody.
I don't see anybody caring.
No,
Now they had a different school. But what you're saying, and you can open your eyes now. Body kinesthetic is our largest group of learners. They literally have a sense of movement. So if the teacher's not moving, they need to move. That's why we need to do round robins. We need to do debates, discussions. Sometimes I'll get up and just have them doing a whiteboard assessment and just stand up and just show me a letter, because this is how they learn as they move. These are also the kids that are getting suspended because they can't sit for 90 minutes like a factory worker instead of a 21st century student. So that's why, to me, this movement is so important, because when we know, like you say, you don't know what you don't know, but when you know it, you need to push it. So I'm like saying, churches, shout out, wake up call, please get your youth, get us in to speak to your youth, because this is really important. And again, the other important piece is because of all the careers that are associated with their genius. That we can start now. Imagine if you took that test and you had a surprise. Tell us about your test.
The results?
Yeah.
My results were self.
It's the person now?
Musical.
Yeah, tell us about the musical piece. Kind of remind you of some things, right?
Yeah, the musical piece. It reminded me of a lot because, it reminded me of when I was in radio. It reminded me even of when I was growing up. My mom used to allow me to listen to music to actually put myself to sleep.
See, look at that.
So I would do that. I went, growing up in Chicago, there's this program that we had. I was a foster child.
Okay.
And so we had various programs that they would allow us to do. And part of one program was when we went to, I went to Walt Disney Academy for a period of time. And the way that they teach is exactly what you're speaking about. We did not sit class all day.
It works.
We only had sit down, teach learning. We only did that for half a day. The first part of the day, we did drama. We did work with our hands. We did just all kinds of music. We did all kinds of stuff. And then the last part of the day, we did a little bit of sit down and let's do some work real quick. But throughout the course of the day, we were steady learning. And we didn't realize that we were learning by doing. And I so enjoyed that. And myself and everyone who went, we all thrived. But now
that's a great word. That's a great word.
Well, we did. We really did. We were gifted, so to speak.
And I don't know why schools don't remember. Because we did. We were taught this as teachers during that time that it came out. And I think sometimes we don't wait until we see the results of something. We just jump to something else, so it's not going to work. And now we're such in a mode that, we got to do this, we got to do this. It's so scripted. And till all the genius pieces, what's the first things that go in schools? Music and art.
Yeah, and that's your genius piece. And gee whiz, I was in the band during ROTC. Now that I really think about the music, and I love music, all kinds of music,
I love it.
Everything. I like to mess with the drums, and not that I play, I don't.
But that's listen.
I love it though.
It's about producing music. It's about arranging music. It's about just singing in the shower,
having an ear to know who else can sing, and placing them,
and that's exactly right too.
Making stars,
arrangements. Look at that.
So.
And then the social piece. That's how I came to know you.
Yes.
The master networker of the Black community. That's how I came to meet you.
Thank you.
So tell us about that.
Well, tell you about it. Like, obviously I like meeting people. And
tell us about the name of it and all of that.
Like my business?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the name of my business is called Black Owned Charlotte, Black Owned CLT, and that is a Black business directory. What I do is I advertise for Black businesses and entrepreneurs. We have a number of different ways that we do that. We do that via social media. As a matter of fact, every Wednesday we have what's called Black Business Wednesday.
And I'm gonna have to take off work one day.
We promote Black businesses all day long on social media on Wednesdays. We also have a monthly networking breakfast that we do every first Wednesday of the month, where we meet at a Black restaurant.
I like that.
And we network. We have a speaker. We have vendors. And that whole event is centered around networking and creating a network and meeting other business owners so that you have a referral source to go to where we can shop with each other first.
I love it.
I've got that. And then we also have a virtual marketplace that we are creating. So we'll be doing a live streaming virtual marketplace.
I love it.
People can put their wares out and their products and their services in front of the whole world. So we're taking people from local to global.
I have the Myra TV virtual. It's all them little TV shows. That's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to that. But now we get to why we're here today. Tell us about this.
So this is my baby. This is my very first book, and it was written for my son, my most recent son. It's called The Prince Who Made Me Queen. And my son, I just had him Prince 8. He is going on 3 months now. And I feel like this son is the son who pushed me into queen status. Oftentimes, women, we call ourselves queen, or other people address us as queen, and that's okay. You know, that's perfectly fine. But when other people would address me as queen, I felt uncomfortable. You know, I didn't have low self-esteem and like, oh my God, you know, that type of thing. But I just kind of felt uncomfortable because when you say queen, number one, I didn't want that to be something that was self-proclaimed.
Okay.
That's number one. But however, number two, that word weighed with me. What was I doing to walk in that, you know?
Okay.
What was my queendom? How was I treating people? How many people was I helping? How many people was I taking care of? What was I doing in my home life?
Because that's what people do in the Happy Kingdom. That's
exactly.
That's
exactly.
right.
When you have in my case, a queendom, you have a queendom. You have people that depend on you.
Right.
You have people that look to you. You're trading with other territories, and you know you're doing business. You're doing commerce. You know you're doing all these things, and up to this point, I've been doing those things to a certain degree.
Okay.
However, in my mind, when I got pregnant and I found out I was, you know, surprisingly pregnant and all these things, it put me into a place where I had to focus and I had to really say, wow, you know, this is a gift from the Creator. So I looked at the pregnancy as that, but at the same time, I wasn't quite where I wanted to be. Okay. And so as a result, the book takes you through what my pregnancy looked like and how from starting point to finish point, I found out I moved into that queendom. And it was a 7-month time span because I was pregnant for about 2 months when I found out I was pregnant.
Okay.
And 7 is the number of completion and the number of perfection. And so in that 7-month time frame, I was completed into my queendom. So I was perfected into my queendom in that time span. And so Prince 8, which is my son's name, is the prince that made me queen. Because now as a result of having that son and the things that I went through and how focused I am now and the things that I'm doing now, I feel a lot more comfortable when people call me queen. And I do wear that title down proudly.
Oh, wow. That's a great way of expressing that and giving people something to really think about before because you have to be able to walk in a title. You have to be able to own it. And again, I get you, you know, because sometimes when people say that to me, I'm like, not yet. But I understand what people are doing as far as respect.
Right.
But like you said, it has to be something that doesn't weigh on you and that you literally can walk into because that's your purpose.
Right.
So how do you feel now?
I feel wonderful, Rochelle. I really do. I feel good about myself. I feel good about being a mother. I feel good about who I am as a person. I feel good about who I am in my community. I feel good about the level of integrity that I have. I feel good just about things that I'm doing overall because I have found my purpose. You know, I found my purpose, and when you know what your purpose is and you know what you're put here to do, then that makes things easier. And I can look into the future now like a queen to solidify my queendom. So I understand now, you know, I heard some people, you say you want to plan for 2 or 3 generations. At one point, that was
not something you think, right,
you know. And now, you know, I know how my grandchildren, you know,
legacy.
Exactly. I know how they'll live in the types of lifestyle.
Right. You know how they'll live because you know you're preparing for the day.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that.
So, I'm going to be on their wall. Having the big old pictures on the wall. At night when they go to the bathroom, they're going to be like, Mama, look like Grandma looking at me. Eyes looking at me.
You have 4 sons.
I have 5
sons. Okay, I haven't met one yet. Okay.
Yeah, one's in the Marines. So you haven't
That's
met
right.
him.
I've heard of him.
We haven't met him. So I have 5 sons, and 5 means power and grace.
All right.
So this last son, well, I think it was my last son. Anyway, we'll see, won't we? But this last son is the son that made me queen.
Awesome.
I'm impressed. And I want my youth to see that because I also have some youth that are writers.
Oh, wow.
I really believe that. I don't believe we just start thinking about the fact that we're writers. And when I look, especially with the historical timelines that they had to do today, and when I saw some of the lives, our kids, and they were so honest, especially a a lot of my Hispanic students, we're finding out they're not living with their mom and dads. They got sent ahead. Their mom tried to come over from Mexico. She couldn't for whatever reason. You know, all of a sudden Cuba's not letting people come, and you know, and it's they tried to come, and now and I'm like, wow, and they still have the fortitude to come to school and get it done. So I want them to see that, you know what, there's a gift of them being an author, even if they just told their story.
And they need to know that, and they do need to cradle that, because you make people think.
Right, praise God.
As I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm thinking, I always have been an author.
Absolutely.
Way back in 4th grade, I remember I used to write plays.
See, look at that. But so, that's not push, that's go. So we have to be able to build.
Yep.
I think of doing an after-school program really soon.
Wow. Because
we have to be able to push those things. And like I said, I have some kids come in and they don't do anything, but they have such a motivation to do sports. You know, I would push sports in math, I would push sports in language arts, social studies, the history. Yeah, because they already are motivated because they've had some level of success with that. And if I could just use that to change their mindset, then I think they would go a little further. Then you could introduce those other things that the school curriculum calls for, instead of them letting them be defeated. I was reading something today about a young man who had already failed 10th grade twice.
Wow.
Just was not, like you said, linguistic and mathematical. But again, he was. There's just other ways, like you said today, there's other ways to a thing.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be what you said. Right. It could be another way. But the school never found it for him. And although they could tell that if they had asked them some things orally or put some things down, like I have some kids, I don't do a participation grade. Some of my Asian students are never going to raise their hand. And that's not their culture. Their culture is that the teacher's the master. They're not going to. But if I ask them, if I put it on a board, if they write it, I know they know it. And I said, wow, it's just sad that nobody ever found it for this kid.
Wow.
You know, and in my opinion, guys, you can't even let down one kid.
Right.
You know, you can't, but someone did, and I'm like, you know what? And I wish I had known that kid, because we would have found a way.
They deserve better.
Absolutely, because guess what? Every kid that comes to kindergarten loves school.
They do. They're so excited.
And we have to discover what happens in like 4th, 5th grade, especially to my boys. What happens? I even had to tell my daughter, she's a justice person. Don't kill her. Oh, we don't do it. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I have some people that do that. But I'm telling you, I know. Don't do it. Because I'm going to come for you. You know what I'm saying? And so then they kind of like, okay, we going to be careful, you know. So, the Prince of Baby Queen, I'm going to buy this because you got to order that for me. And I'm going to put this in my classroom because I want kids to see. Even the drawing, we laugh. And I'm like, I'm not visual spatial. I'm not an artist. God made me a singer. But I have discovered if I take some art books and just follow the diagrams, I can draw a little bit. Because again, the intelligence is there. It's just lower. But we can strengthen those intelligences. Yeah, we can strengthen. Because if we all had all 9 strong, then we all be looking the same. And that wouldn't make any sense either. So we have to have some differences, you know. But it also encourages us to be able to at least try them all. And major in a few. And then help. So this was greater in math to me. Okay, well, I need you to come over to my side so I can be at least good in math too. So I want my students to see this, the Prince of Baby Queen, because I know that they are authors. They have a book in them, and I'm just waiting for one to come to me and say, help me write my book. Help me get me to someone. Because I know you know somebody this great. Help me get somebody, help me write this book. And I certainly am. So how can we reach you?
You can reach me by emailing me. My email is myra.foster@hotmail.com. So that's how people can reach me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful show. It's been a wonderful show. Now, I'm going to ask your husband to take the test next time I see him. And your oldest son.
Okay.
And your son in the Marines, when he gets a chance, when he comes home, and put the results in my page. Yeah. Because again, I want people to see it, and people are always pleasantly surprised But we always find like one surprise, like if you could have saw your face when you began to talk about the music and reminisce. That to me made it all worthwhile, and that was something I didn't know, and it was a pleasure finding that out about you.
Yeah, it was a nice reminder. Everything happens for a reason.
And that's absolutely true.
We're here today.
That's
so
absolutely true.
Everything happens for a reason.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Myra Foster. She's on the MI Project, talking about her great networking skills and the prince who made me queen. As an author, we want our students to know this is you. You are the interpersonal. You are the social, the intrapersonal. You are also the musical, and we can create a life plan for you so that you can walk in your genius and walk in your God-given purpose. That's the purpose of this show. So, with that being said, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you, Dad.
For being on the MI Project. Her and her wonderful family. It's been a really pleasant show.
Thank you.
I don't think it's going to be the last.
I've enjoyed myself.
I think Myra might be doing some radio real soon. Well, once you like us on Facebook, go to the MI Project on Facebook. Find us on the Wake Up Call Network. And again, I want to give a shout out to the Wake Up Call Network because they really, 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 really support us. And I think that makes all the difference. All right. So I want to say shout out to my producers, the Annies. All right. So we're going to be here. We're here every Friday. Look for us. Look at our past shows. Get some youth and adults to walking in their genius. If you go to our page, the test is right there. And it's a fun test. It's all about you. And leave us the results. Let us know how you made out. And you know what, youth? You might be on the MI Project. All right. Going to see you on Friday. Take care.